everybody. So thank you for joining me. This is Teresa with the Intentional Classroom. So excited to talk to you about something kind of simple today, something that seems like obvious, I guess, but it's not. And that is the do's and don'ts of using PowerPoint in your classroom, or even more specifically, creating PowerPoints for your classroom. So I know a lot of you probably use the textbook options, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. They just tend to be a little dry and boring, and it's really hard to bring those guys to life. So if you are venturing into the world of creating your own presentations right now, I thought it might be useful if I give you a few simple do's and don'ts to kind of get you moving in the right direction. So if you don't know who I am, again, my name is Teresa. We are the Intentional Classroom. Our goal here is, of course, to offer teacher resources, student resources. While a lot of what we do is beauty, spa, and wellness, I really do work with schools all over this country doing all different types of education, mostly trade focused, but I'm here to help you, okay? So today is not about beauty, spa, and wellness at all. It's about developing your PowerPoints or any presentation tool for that matter. It could be Keynote, it could be Prezi. It doesn't really matter what it is. There's some rules that you should really kind of pay attention to as you create, your first few PowerPoints. So let's get started, okay? First thing is to focus on images. Pictures speak for you, okay? So lots of fun pictures, lots of funny pictures. You can put GIFs in there. You can put movement in there. Really, really focus on imagery more than anything else in your PowerPoints, because that's what students want to see. Once we start putting a bunch of words up there, they start reading instead of listening to what you have to say. So just kind of keep that in mind, which brings me to that second one, right? Don't use a bunch of words. If you've ever seen Steve Jobs talk, when he first started talking about the iPhone, he literally had a presentation that was just a black screen and one word, and that's all he used for his presentation. The point of a PowerPoint is to guide your conversation. It's not there to teach for you. It's not there to provide information to students. It's there to inspire, it's there to build curiosity, and it's there to guide your lesson so that you stay on track. So you don't need to include a bunch of words when you're using your PowerPoint, okay? Words should come from your mouth, right? Do focus on keywords that guide your conversation. So you can see, like even this presentation, it's very slim on the amount of text I actually included because I really wanted to focus on making my point and speaking through it with you. And that's what you should be doing in your classroom too. So really find those keywords or those hot words that kind of spark some excitement about whatever it is you're going to teach during that slide, okay? The next one. Don't write out a paragraph. I know I'm starting to get a little repetitive here because it's what I see over and over and over again is paragraphs. I still go to professional conferences with professional speakers and I sit there and I see a paragraph on the screen and I think to myself, well, do I listen to you speak or do I start reading this paragraph? Because I really can't do both. And it's the same for your students. So again, don't ever write out a paragraph. Don't ever copy and paste text that's this long into your PowerPoint. It defeats the point of the presentation tool, okay? Do use funny pictures. Don't be afraid to kind of push boundaries a little bit. I'm not saying be inappropriate, although let's be honest, we all know that I kind of walk that line really, really closely, but definitely use funny pictures, use funny imagery to bring your lesson to life. When we laugh, we retain. When we're having fun, we're paying attention. And if students are engaged in having fun, they're going to remember all of the things that you're talking about because you're building a full memory there, not just remember this fact because I told you and it's going to be on your test, right? No. So use funny pictures, bring your presentation to life, okay? Don't forget to review for spelling. So I'm totally guilty of this. I don't know how many times I'm live in a presentation and that's when I catch the spelling mistake. And it's usually not because I didn't spell check. It's usually a real word that's on there, so it didn't catch it. It just isn't the right word. So not only should you be using your spell check to make sure the few words that you did put on there are spelled correctly, make sure you read through it and you make sure that the right words are in the right places, okay? Do cheat. Use a freebie PowerPoint template. So this was made on Canva today, which I'm kind of new to Canva. I've always done Adobe and a lot of those types of tools. And a friend of mine convinced me to switch over to Canva for some of my stuff. And oh my God, was he correct, right? This was so easy. I put together this PowerPoint in about 10 minutes because I literally just took one of their pretty professional looking formatted PowerPoint templates. I filled in the blanks. That's what I did. Okay. So easy to work with. There's a lot of freebies on Canva, but you can also pay, and then you have access to all sorts of tools. SlidesGo is another one that you can pull a super professional looking PowerPoint template where you just go in and you fill in the holes, okay? And then another one is free PowerPoint templates, okay? These are just 3 that I use on a pretty regular basis. I have done the whole from start to finish, develop, and try to make it look as professional as I can. And I finish, and sometimes I'm like, yeah, that looks good. And sometimes I look at it and I think that looks like an amateur did it. And so that I really, like I said, I've kind of been gravitating towards these templated PowerPoints because I feel like they present way more professional than anything I can do. I am not a graphic designer, and you might not be either, okay? The next one, don't use fonts less than. See, I read this 15 times, but it was supposed to say 24 point. I swear, I read it, I reviewed it as I'm clearly not practicing what I preach right now. Don't use fonts less than 24 point is what that should say right there, okay? When we write them too small, we can't see them. And even on a big screen, you sit there and you're trying to figure out what it says, okay? So this is easy when we're focusing on using less words because it's okay if the words take up a bunch of space, okay? And the next one is do add in animation. So don't go crazy with this, but I like some movement in my presentations, right? So I like, if you notice when I go from slide to slide, there's kind of a transition animation. I like when I have bulleted lists to, be able to add those animations so each one comes up on their own. Again, it's providing me my pathway to speaking. That's all it's supposed to be doing. Okay, so do add animations. I also like to add, like I said, GIFs of little guys dancing and anything I can to kind of keep students' attention on the actual presentation that I'm giving, okay? Don't use crappy images. Is that how you spell crappy? I don't know, because spell check doesn't really check that word. It's not a real word, okay? But be careful. You can use things like Pexel or Unsplash. That gives you free, professional, non-royalty or no royalty images that you can use in your presentations, okay? So just remember that there's freebies out there that are amazing. You don't have to get these grainy clip art photos that you just kind of insert in. I also want to put in here and just kind of mention that if you are taking photos from the internet, you do need to give credit to said photos. So I'm right now finishing this cosmetology exam review course that I've been working on for like a year now. And when I got to certain disorders, I didn't have access to those photos. So I had to use a lot from the internet. And I made sure I cited and just put the link on every single photo because we want to give credit to websites that we take information from, okay? Next one, do practice your delivery, right? You should know what comes next. It shouldn't be a surprise. There's been plenty of times that I kind of wing it and it's okay. And then I do it a second time and I'm just kind of floored at how much better it actually is once I've reviewed it once or twice. So just remember that. Make sure you go through that presentation before you actually deliver it to a student, okay? And finally, do alter a textbook PowerPoint. So this is kind of what I was talking about cheating earlier. Why reinvent the wheel, right? Why start from scratch, okay? If you have a textbook PowerPoint that you feel confident in, most of the time you can actually download that and then edit it. So what I used to do is I would take, if I didn't have a lot of time to create something from scratch, I would take that textbook PowerPoint, I'd download it, and I'd put more fun pictures in it. And I would kind of change things up a little bit, remove some of the words. So I didn't have to totally start from scratch, but I could actually create something that looked professional and married the textbook that way. So it's absolutely an option for you. Okay, so that's what I have for you guys today. It was just meant to be a quick little something to kind of talk about where to get started on those PowerPoints and what are some of the general rules that you need to follow to make sure that they are as engaging as possible. Okay, as always, this is the Intentional Classroom. My name is Teresa Muley Hotham now because I've gotten married, and I'm here to provide you teacher training. I do keynote addresses, I build student resources, I do everything and anything I can to inspire and motivate teachers. So if you like what we did today, please make sure you subscribe, you follow us in all of the different places, and look forward to the next video because I am recording back to back to back today to get as much out as I can in the next few weeks. So thank you so much. Have an amazing day. And I hope you go tomorrow, you conquer the student world, and you inspire some kids out there. All right. Have a great day.